The sun had barely risen when Vine stirred awake, the weight of her growing belly making it hard to shift comfortably in bed. Before she could even adjust, she felt the familiar warmth of Taehyung's arm around her, his gentle hand instinctively resting on her stomach as if protecting both her and the tiny life inside. "Good morning, love," he whispered, his deep voice still husky from sleep. Vine turned slightly to meet his soft brown eyes. A small smile tugged at her lips, despite the discomfort she had been feeling lately. "Morning," I murmured back, feeling his thumb gently kissing my belly. "He's been active again," I added with a soft smile, referring to our little one. Taehyung smiled, his face lighting up like the morning sun. "Of course he is. He's excited to meet us." "Aren't you, little one?" I said, leaning down to press a tender kiss to Vine's stomach. "I'm making you breakfast. Stay in the bed. I'll take care of everything," I said as I got off the bed. Vine protested, but Taehyung was having none of it. "Doctor's orders," I teased her with a wink. The doctor gave Vine strict instructions to take easy during the later stages of pregnancy. While he was busy in the kitchen, Ryan couldn't help but admire him from afar. Tim had been a pillar of support throughout the pregnancy. He had been by her side at every doctor's appointment, every craving at midnight, every emotional breakdown. Ryan knew he was tired too, but he never let it show. He always had that signature boxy grin, as if he was the luckiest man in the world. After a while, he returned with a tray filled with Ryan's breakfast: toast, scrambled eggs, and fresh fruits. "It's simple, but I figured it's better than those late night snacks you have been asking for," I sat sitting beside her. Taehyung chuckled softly, referencing her latest craving for pickles and peanut butter, which he found questionable but still indulged her without second thought. "I wanted to eat something spicy, but this looks so delicious. You're spoiling me," I said, my heart swelling with love as I took a bite of the breakfast he'd so lovingly prepared. "You deserve it," I replied sincerely, brushing a strand of hair away from her face. "You're carrying our baby. It's the least I can do." Later that day, when Ryan felt a sharp pain lasting for a few seconds, a common occurrence as her body prepared for the birth, Tim was by her side in an instant, his hand gently rubbing her back. "You okay?" His voice was filled with concern, his eyes searching hers. Mine nodded, but the discomfort was obvious. "It's just everything feels so heavy lately." Tim wrapped his arm around Ryan, his embrace instantly soothing. "I wish I could take the pain for you," he whispered against her hair, "but I'm here always." With Taehyung's unwavering presence, Ryan felt a deep sense of comfort. He was attentive to every need, massaging her swollen feet, bringing her water, and even playing the calming music that helped ease her nerves. As the day turned into night, they lay together on the couch, the TV on but mostly forgotten, as Taehyung hummed softly, his voice a gentle lullaby that wrapped around them both. "Thank you," I whispered, my voice full of emotions, "for everything." I rested my head against his shoulder. Taehyung pressed a kiss to the top of Ryan's head, his fingers intertwining with hers. "There's nothing I wanna do for you," I said softly, "for both of you." As the night fell deeper, Ryan found herself drifting to sleep in Taehyung's arms, feeling safe, loved, and completely taken care of. The soft glow of the evening sun bathed the living room in the warm hues, casting a peaceful atmosphere over the quiet house. Ryan sat on the couch, legs propped up on the pillow, head resting gently over her. At nearly 9 months, every moment felt like an effort, but Taehyung's presence always seemed to lighten the weight of it all. Taehyung was in the kitchen humming a gentle tune as he moved between the stove and the counter, preparing Ryan's favorite tea. She could hear the clink of the cup as he set it down, his voice deep and comforting, singing softly to himself. The quiet hum of his voice brought a calmness that washed over her, and she smiled, feeling the gentle flutter of her baby moving. "Tea's ready, love," Taehyung said, walking over with a tray in hand. His wide, boxy smile was radiant as he set the cup down on the table in front of Ryan. He sat beside Ryan, leaning in to kiss her forehead. "How are you feeling? Everything okay?" Ryan nodded, reaching for his hand. "I'm okay, just a bit tired, but I think we are almost there." Taehyung chuckled, his fingers brushing against her swollen belly. "Almost there." I echoed, my voice tinged with excitement. "I still can't believe we are going to meet them so soon." "Yes, it's strange." For a moment the two of them sat in silence, the weight of the impending arrival filling the space between them. It felt surreal, The idea of finally holding their child after all these months of waiting, planning, and dreaming. Taehyung had been by Ryan's side through every step of this journey, offering his endless support, his love, his patience. Ryan's thoughts were interrupted by a sudden sensation, a strange warmth followed by a dull ache in her lower abdomen. Thought it was just another regular contraction, the kind that had been coming and going over the past few weeks. Shifted on the couch, a rush of liquid followed, soaking through her dress. Tay, I whispered, my voice barely audible, eyes widening in surprise as I looked down. Young followed her gaze, his expression quickly shifting from calm to concern. Wait, did you water just? His voice trailed off as he realized what was happening. Vine nodded, heart racing, feeling the beginnings of panic rise in her chest. I think it did, Young. It's happening. For a split second he froze, the weight of the moment hitting him all at once. But then, just as quickly, he sprang into actions, his years of performing under pressure kicking in. Okay, it's fine. We have got this. I said more to myself than to Ryan as I scrambled to grab the hospital bag I'd packed weeks ago. He hurried back to Ryan's side, his hands trembling slightly as he helped her stand. Are you okay? Can you walk? I asked, my voice a little shaky despite the calm front I was trying to maintain. I think so, I said, gripping his arms as a wave of pain coursed through my abdomen. It wasn't unbearable yet, but the contraction was starting to come, each one stronger than the last. Taehyung quickly grabbed the keys, wrapping an arm around her waist as the two of them made their way to the car. Just breath, you're doing amazing, I whispered, though she could hear the anxiety creeping into my tone. I opened the passenger door, helping her in carefully before rushing around to the driver's side. The drive to the hospital felt like a blur. The city lights whizzed by as Taehyung sped through the streets, his grip on the steering wheel tight, knuckles white. He kept glancing over at Ryan, worry etched on his face. It was getting really painful with the passing seconds. Ryan started crying from the unbearable pain, but she was managing not to faint and stay in senses as it's risky. You're doing great, love. We're almost there, I reassured, though it seemed like Ryan was in so much pain. By the time they arrived at the hospital, the contractions were coming closer together, each one pulling a groan from Ryan's lips. Taehyung rushed to get help, and before long, Ryan was on stretcher, being pushed into the delivery room. Her husband never leaving her side, hours passed in a haze of pain, excitement, and exhaustion. Taehyung was there for every contraction, every breath, holding her hand, whispering words of encouragement. Ryan lost track of time, the minutes and hours blending together as she fought through the labor. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the room was filled with the sound of baby's first cry and then another. The nurse moved swiftly, cleaning and wrapping your newborns in a soft blanket before handing them to Ryan and Taehyung. Tears welled up in Ryan's eyes as she looked down at the tiny life in her arms. The exhaustion, the pain, the fear, it all melted away in that moment. She glanced over at Taehyung, who was watching Ryan and his sons, both with an expression of pure wonder, while holding his twin son. His eyes were glistening with unshed tears. Taehyung looked at his son and kissed his forehead. He lay him on the other side of Ryan while the other one was already on one side. Taehyung, I whispered, voice choked with emotions. We did it. He leaned in, gently brushing a tear from Ryan's cheeks before pressing a soft kiss to her forehead. You did it, I corrected, my voice thick with pride. You were amazing. Vine closed her eyes. She must be tired. You can wait outside while we shift your wife to general room. Your kids will be in an ICU for some time for some necessary checkups. The four of them sat there wrapped in the quiet intimacy of the moment. Tang's hand rested on Vine's shoulder as he leaned down to kiss the tiny head of their babies. Vine was holding them on each side as she just welcome to the world, little ones. He whispered softly, his voice barely above a breath. We've been waiting for you. And in that moment, everything felt right. The world outside could fade away, but here, in this room, the only thing that mattered was the new family they'd created together.